On this episode of the Rock Down South podcast, I sit down with country music artist Clay Barker. We, of course, talk about his music, and he plays a couple songs for us. We hope you all enjoy. Let's go. Welcome to the Rock Down South podcast. Thank you so much for listening to the show today. I'm Mark, and my friends and I created this podcast to focus exclusively on music interviews we do. We hope you all enjoy this interview I did with country artist Clay Barker. He's a great guy and a new artist you guys should keep your eyes on. So without further ado, here's the interview. Clay, how you doing, man?
What's up, man? Doing well.
See, that's awesome. Thank you so much for jumping on the podcast today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah, man.
Excited to be on it.
First off, where are you living nowadays? Are you in Nashville or are you in Alabama?
So I'm in Nashville currently, specifically about 15 minutes outside of Nashville. Hermitage, Tennessee is where I'm at. But yeah, we're just a short drive right to downtown. So it's never too much of an issue to just pop down there.
How long have you been in Nashville now?
A year and let's just say a year and a half. I was going to count the months up, but let's just say a year and a half.
So was that like a big scary thing moving to Nashville, or was that something you were kind of a long time coming?
It was definitely a scary move. I didn't plan on it. So when I was in college at Auburn, I had plans to go to physical therapy school, and about a month before I would have gotten accepted into a PT school, I went to my parents and I was like, "Hey guys, I'm not going to go to PT school anymore, and I'm going to go be a broke musician in Nashville." So they were super stoked about that, as you could probably imagine, right when it first happened. But they're definitely extremely supportive now. So yeah, the move itself was a little bit nerve-wracking, but I'm super thankful that I did.
Well, let's talk about the music. I know you've had, was it 4 or 5 singles that you've put out so far?
That's right. I think I have 5 singles out right now. That's right.
And so the latest one, I know I've been digging that one.
Yeah, man, Your Broken Heart.
Yeah, that one is a little bit different than the others.
It is. There's a thing in Nashville. I feel like every 5 months, I may be the only artist that does this, but it's like every 5 months you're like, oh, I think I'm really finding my sound now. And so it's like I've been going through these stages of like, who is Clay Barker? Like, what is my sound? And so I think Your Broken Heart's kind of moving towards where I'm really wanting to go with a little bit more of an edgy, rocky sound of country. I was in a bunch of metal bands when I was growing up. I was a drummer in metal bands like screamo bands. And so I've always wanted to put some like rock flares into the music that I release.
Yeah, that's something that I definitely noticed on that song. I really like that one. It's by far my favorite one out of the mix.
Thanks, dude.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, man. I listened to all of them, and I think you're right. I think the others are very good. They're very well written songs. But I think the way you guys mixed it or recorded this one, it was a little bit punchier. It had a little bit more of those guitars, those rock influences.
That's right.
And that's what kind of separated it out from me, that particular song, where I was like, this sounds like somebody who's getting a little bit more of their footing in terms of who they know as an artist. You know what I mean?
Sure. That's right. So out of all the 5 singles, I've done different producers on 1, 2. So I've had 3 different producers out of the 5 singles that I've released. So a lot of them are different sounds and, different producers' takes on the certain songs. So like 17 and Your Broken Heart, I did with the same guy. Hold My Beer and one of them I did with the same guy. And then She's the One I did with a different producer.
So you talked a little bit about your influences being in other bands before. I know you were in a contemporary band at one point.
That's right.
And tell me about some of those past bands that you've been in and the kind of switch you've made to be a solo country artist.
So starting out as a kid, when I was 12, I always wanted to have a drum set. And my parents were like, we don't know, that's kind of loud. How about do guitar? So anyway, my granddad heard about it and bought me a drum set the next day because he was just ready to spoil me at all times. So I got the drum set, started playing drums, and ended up getting in a cover band with a couple of my best friends. And we just played like 80s, rock songs and whatnot, just to be loud and have fun. And then some like newer rock. We did a little bit of that. And then we kind of decided at some point when I was 15, I got into church. was saved and decided that, we wanted to start going down this contemporary Christian path. So got into that and did contemporary music for a little while. Then I swapped to metal music. And I guess that's just maybe every kid goes through like a rock stage, but like I went through a serious rock stage, like straightened my hair and wore skinny jeans, the whole 9 yards. And so I did that for a while and then ended up moving from the metal into like mainstream worship. And then when we went to college, we ended up breaking up as a band. And I kind of just wanted to go back to my roots as far as writing went. I grew up listening to country music. My dad was always playing, whether it be, Hank or Travis Tritt in the house. And so I was like, I kind of want to write to that, the whole 3 chords and the truth type method. And so that's when I decided that country music was the path that I wanted to go down, and I've stuck with it ever since.
That's awesome, man. This is the Rock Down South podcast. At the heart, we are all rockers over here.
That's right, dude.
Run the podcast.
Heck yeah.
So, of course, like you, I got into country as the years went on and really became to appreciate it, especially Southern rock. So I definitely could understand liking the metal, liking the heavy metal and
Yeah, man.
rock when you were younger. What are you listening to these days in terms of rock music? I know I listen to classic rock, heavy metal, 80s rock, modern rock, really all of it. But what are you kind of listening to recently?
I would say as far as rock influences go, I'm huge on A Day to Remember, which is kind of a post-hardcore metal band. They've been one of my favorite metal bands for, I can't even tell you how long. Ever since I started doing it, I really just love their sound and kind of love what they did in terms of their music and their flair on, the metal scene itself. And other than that, man, who else do I listen to in terms of metal now? Not too much. I do stick to listening to a lot of country nowadays just to kind of keep up with the times and keep up with, what I'm doing.
Nice. Yeah. Day to Remember, awesome band. I saw them at Warped Tour back in the day.
Yeah, dude. I always wanted to go to Warp and have never been.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a cool thing for a little while. I mean, I was young. Everybody was young. Just a bunch of kids going crazy over there. But mainly listening to country nowadays.
Yeah, mainly.
But if you were looking to get like really pumped up, you wanted to like, I don't know, maybe work out or get aggressive.
Oh yeah, when I go to the gym, it's A Day to Remember, The Devil Wears Prada, Sleeping with Sirens, a lot of your, bigger name metal bands.
So I've been getting into some more, revisiting the As I Lay Dying recently.
Yeah, dude, As I Lay Dying, love them, man.
That'll get you pumped up.
Did you ever play Guitar Hero?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember when they had the As I Lay Dying song on? I can't remember which one was on there, but there was one on like Guitar Hero 4 or something like that. And I used to play it on repeat.
I don't remember that song. I'm trying to remember. But if you have not listened to the new album that they put out, probably in 2019, you definitely should. It's really, really good.
I'm going to go look it up right now as we're talking and make sure I save it.
Dude, it is super good. It's I think it's the best stuff they put out.
Nice.
But awesome. Glad we got to kind of nerd out on some rock and metal. That's what we love, but we love some good country as well.
That's right.
And when it comes to the country music, obviously you probably have some influences, there in Nashville and around. Tell me a little bit more about those.
So definitely, in terms of country right now, Hardy is by far my biggest influence in terms of country and Nashville musicians. One, he is a phenomenal writer. I mean, of course, he's written a ton of hits already before he became an artist, but just the rock flair that he brings along, that he's bringing to the table. I really wish I would have thought to do what he's doing before he did it, but he beat me to the punch on it. So he is probably my go-to artist in terms of like influences and who I'm listening to in Nashville.
Dude, I love Hardy, man. Hardy's seriously talented. He's a great writer, like you said. He's got a great voice and he's got that rock flair.
That's right.
That really comes through. I think I was playing his acoustic version of God's Country.
Oh, dude, the runs he does in that, insane.
It's incredible. But dude, we would love to hear if you got a couple tunes for us. We'd love to hear some music from you.
Sure, man, no problem. Yeah, I can get it done.
All right. Clay is going to play a couple songs for us, so I hope you guys enjoy.
Cool. This first one is a song of mine. I wrote my buddy Justin Holt. So I make my living by going out on the roads and playing, songs in different bars around the Southeast. And when I go home, everybody's like, man, you're really like living the dream, aren't you? And to save time and a long conversation, I'm just like, yeah, it's great. But they don't always get to understand the tougher side of living life out on the road. You're never home. Sometimes the money's not always great. You're always tired. So we decided to sit down and write a song called Chasing It that was about that. So here it is. Well, I got another 3-night run, third one this month, a couple 100 miles from home. It's 1 in, 1 out, one hell of a crowd, so why do I feel so alone? I got a whole damn bottle for the band backstage. It's going down like water more and more these days. I'm pushing the throttle till there's nothing in the tank, but I signed up for living life this way. Even though my name's on the marquee sign, and I used to have dreams of a life like mine, living out of a suitcase, running wide lines, wouldn't trade it for a thing. But then again, sometimes I get burned out, burning these roads down. It's taking a toll on me. I'm getting by, giving all I can give. I know I ain't living the dream, but I'm sure as hell chasing it. Well, people don't always see behind these scenes. After last call's long gone, there ain't no such thing as a good night's sleep. Hotels don't feel like home. And I ain't saying that it's all that bad, 'cause I don't miss the other life I had. I can't afford to take a break, so I'm on the interstate singing songs in another town. Even though my name's on the marquee sign, and I used to have dreams of a life like mine, living out of a suitcase, running wide lines, wouldn't trade it for a thing. But then again, sometimes I get burned out, burning these roads down. It's taking a toll on me. I'm getting by, giving all I can give. I know I ain't living the dream, but I'm sure as hell chasing it. Yeah, I'm sure as hell chasing it. Even though my name's on the marquee sign, and I used to have dreams of a life like mine, living out of a suitcase, running wide lines, wouldn't trade it for a thing. But then again, sometimes I get burned out, burning these roads down. It's taking a toll on me. I'm getting by, giving all I can give. I know I ain't living the dream, but I'm sure as hell chasing it. Yeah, I'm sure as hell chasing it. Yeah.
Dude, that was awesome, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it, dude.
And I think you said you're going to throw in a cover for us today, right?
Absolutely, dude. So this one, I'm going to do Mike Ryan's Damn Good Goodbye whenever I can get this guitar in tune. So this one, I wanted to do this cover mostly because this song reminds me so much of my life, especially like when I was going off to college. That's kind of what the song is about, is just like moving on, and like it's called Damn Good Goodbye, and it's like just a song about those moments when it's just a damn good goodbye, those goodbyes you always remember. So it's the one that I wanted to play as my cover. So here we go. We met up in my place, 'cause my folks were out of town. It was our last night together. We were gonna make it count. We were headed off to Auburn, Texas Tech, and Kansas State. like a band of brothers breaking up with one more show to play. So we drank a case of Shiner and all my daddy's Maker's Mark. Pulled them speakers on the back porch, sat around and smoked cigars. We sang along, we laughed till dawn, and watched that red sun rise. And that was a damn good goodbye. Well, I was hurting that next morning, but I had one thing left to do. 'Cause the only girl I'd ever loved was bound for Baton Rouge. We said we'd make it work, but we both knew that was a lie. 'Cause high school love ain't strong enough for a 7-hour drive. So we parked out by the football fields where we knew we'd be alone. Leaned in bucket seats way back and made love all night long. We jumped the fence, sat in the stands, and watched that red sun rise. And that was a damn good goodbye. They ain't never easy, and sometimes they go bad. Oh, but sometimes they turn into the best times you ever had. Nothing makes a memory that you'll take with you all your life like a damn good goodbye. There we go.
That was great. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, dude. Thanks, man.
Yeah, man. So the next 3 questions are what we always close with and ask everyone.
All right.
So first question. I know you're only 25, but what would you tell your 21-year-old self?
Move to Nashville sooner, maybe. I'm not sure. Either that or just to be myself in terms of music. You know, not to necessarily worry so much about what's popular or what's selling, and just do more of just do what makes me happy.
Great answer. Great answer. So second question. What are you drinking lately?
Usually I am always a Coors Light guy. Pretty much stick to Coors Light every weekend run that I'm on. I'm Coors Light on top of the stage. When the mountains are blue, it's always a good night.
Eastbound and down.
There you go.
Any whiskey or liquor that you drink on a regular basis?
If I'm gonna drink whiskey, I'm gonna drink Maker's Mark. But it is a little expensive for a broke boy like me. But when I can get a hold of it, that's the one that I go to.
And as you know, this is the Rock Down South podcast. So what is something that you love about the South?
I would say in the South, as far as the shows that I play around the Southeast, the crowds are always like fully invested into what I'm doing on stage. And they're just rowdier down South. And so me being on stage, that's what you love to see is a rowdy crowd coming up to you, getting ready to party and sing every song with you.
And thank you so much, Clay, for being a part of the podcast today. Where can people find and connect with you online? And what do you have in the works that people should know about?
So as far as connecting online, you can find me on Instagram at claybarker_music. Everything else, every other social media is Clay Barker Music. I think TikTok is Clay Barker Official. And then I also have my website that's up, just www.claybarkermusic.com. And I guess I'll do my shameless plug on this part here. So I do have a song coming out with my buddy Mr. Justin Holt. It's called "Back to Being Broke," and it's basically about dating a gold digger. And we've seen a little bit of love from it on TikTok, so we're pretty excited about the release for that one.
Well, we thank you for being a part of the Rock Down South podcast and wish you the best of luck in the future.
Thank you so much for having me. Best of luck for you guys as well.
Thank you so much for listening to the show. We hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Clay is such a fun guy to chat with and really, really talented. We are definitely excited to hear more from him and think his career is going to explode. Make sure to check out Clay's new music and the new single, Back to Being Broke, that he recorded with Justin Holt. Make sure to follow him on all of his social media as well. Check out all our latest content at rockdownsouth.com and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for all the latest updates. And as always, the views and opinions expressed by our guests on the podcast are theirs and don't necessarily reflect our own. I'm Mark, and you've been listening to the Rock Down South podcast. See y'all next time.